I have not bought a brand new washer or dryer in over 20 years. Let me explain. When I bought my house, I bought it brand new. So all of the appliances were brand new. And of course, at some point, my washing machine and my dryer, they kicked the bucket. So I did what I always do. I went on to Craigslist and I bought a used one. Now I know that I can buy a used dryer and washer for $200 each. Super good deal because I was on a tight budget. I didn't have extra money to spend on a brand new washer and dryer. And fast forward a little while, then of course those died because you're buying somebody else's problem pretty much. But I bought new washer and dryer from Craigslist, new to me. And again, you pay $100, $200. And not only that, but when your washer dies, your dryer still works. So you can sell one of them. So in my brain, I was doing really well because I would sell one for $100 or $200 and I would buy a new set for anywhere from $200 to $400. So not bad, totally doable for me. And this is what I've been doing for the past while. So maybe I've had 3 new sets. And the thing is, these washers and dryers are on the top floor. So it's a lot of work to get these guys in and out. And of course, I would get my brother to help me. And I remember the last time he said, Heather, I am not helping you with these again because the dryer is not bad, but the washer is so heavy and it's really hard to get up. Like you have to go up 3 flights of stairs to get from the front door into the laundry room. And that brings me to another point here is that when you have your washing machine on the top floor, you want to make sure it's good and it works and it doesn't leak because when it does, guess where it goes? Into the kitchen. And then now you're staring at a ceiling with a big water stain. Okay, speaking from experience, yes, that happened. But the good news is that I am in the market to buy a brand new washer and dryer. This makes me so excited because I've always just bought secondhand stuff. I didn't need new stuff. It was not really in my budget, but I'm doing well now. My business is doing well, coaching's doing well, and I want to buy a brand new washer and dryer, and I am super excited. And of course, I am going to pay the extra to get them to take out the old ones and bring in the new ones because I don't even want to watch it happen. I just want to be somewhere being super cool, not watching this go down because I don't want to be a part of it. That's one of the bonuses of having it delivered and installed. It's such a good feeling. So I'm excited for this. And as I look in my laundry room that hasn't been touched since I moved in over 20 years, I'm thinking I need to spruce this up. So I have old wire shelves that I have with just stuff thrown on it. It's a mess. And so I'm going to take all that down and I'm going to repaint it and I'm going to make it look lovely because right now I'm in the point of my life where I want everything to feel clean and lovely and peaceful. Before I used to be all into colors. Everything was a color. My living room was aubergine, a dark purple. And my kitchen was blue, just love colors. And now my taste has changed because we change over the years. I'm a different person than I was 20 years ago. And so now I want to clean this laundry room up. I want it to be the most beautiful laundry room ever for me. And so I'm going to take down these shelves, take out all this junk, get rid of it. And as I'm working on doing this, I noticed behind the door, because my laundry room is very, very small, but I noticed behind the door, there's this big sign. It's like a package of a sign. And what I had bought it for was to put a sign in the grass for my stroller boot camp, mom and baby boot camp classes that I used to do when I had my studio. And I haven't had my studio in over 10 years. So this has been, and I had my studio for a very long time. So this has been in my laundry room behind that door for probably 15 years. And I forgot it was there. I didn't even know it was there because I'm never in that room when the door is closed because it's so small. Like, I close the door so I don't have to see in that room. But when I'm in that room, I never close the door. And so lo and behold, here is this sign that it's a package. I've never used it. I was going to be like, Bodies by London, mom and baby boot camp, stroller fitness classes. And I was going to put it on the lawn when I went to the park down at Rocky Point Park with my classes. And if you used to work out with me, you know what I'm talking about. Those were so much fun. The mom and baby boot camps, those days were amazing. But I still have this thing and I never used it. And I kept it because I forgot it was there. Fun, right? Now I'm cleaning everything out. I'm like, this has got to go. Why have I kept this for so long? And it got me thinking about how that is like what we do with our emotions. We will have a feeling and then we'll kind of like we don't like the feeling. We don't like it. And so we put it behind the door so we can't see it and we forget about it. And then we just carry on, but it's still there. It hasn't gone anywhere. It hasn't been dealt with or transformed. It's just still hanging out behind the door, waiting for you to like go in and close the door one day and see it and go, whoa, what are you doing here? I totally forgot about you. Now, because of what I do, I love talking about our emotions. I love processing our emotions. I love thinking about our emotions, but I was not always like this. I remember when I went to energy healing school. This was an intense program. It was 3 years. We used to go off into the boonies, like up into the forest, and we would spend a week there and do our training. We would have opening ceremony. Like, it was full on magical, unlike anything I've ever experienced before. And I remember in second year talking to my teacher. I love this woman. And I said, what am I missing? I'm not getting it. And she said to me, Heather, you want to get intimate with your emotions. And I'll always remember this because I was like, what? Like, what does that even mean? And then she told me a book to read. And just so you know, this is how this works, is my mom used to volunteer at the library and she would always find books that she's like, oh, Heather will like this. And she'll get them for me. And this was one of these books. I hadn't read it. It was sitting in my cupboard. She's like, you should read this book. And my mom had already gotten it for me from the library. And guys, even the most obscure book that I needed for this class, which was on Qigong and it was on pressure points. It was the most obscure book that you couldn't even find it on the internet. It was so hard to find. And we had this teacher who was a Qigong master and he was like, we're learning Qigong. You need this book. My mom had gotten that from the library book club. And she's like, oh, Heather, I like this. I'm like, how is this happening? That's how you know when the universe is speaking to you. That's how you know when this is what you're supposed to be reading or doing. Like, that just happened all the time with the books that my mom would get me. Anyway, I had to share because it's so magical. My mom is so magical and she doesn't even know it. But so I got this book and it was learning how to deal with your shadow. It's learning how to deal with your emotions. And I was never one to know how to deal with my emotions because I was never taught that. And I want to go out on a limb here, girlfriends, and say that maybe none of us have really been taught how to feel and process our emotions. You certainly don't learn it in school. You certainly don't learn it from your parents because they didn't know how to do it. Where are you going to learn these types of things? And so we don't. So it's not anybody's fault. We are doing the best that we can. But our emotions are the language of our bodies. And our bodies always tell us the truth. Our bodies can never lie. So we always want to be listening to our bodies for the feedback that it's giving us. For example, when a client comes to me and talks about something that's going on, I really want to know exactly where it is, what side, where it is, because that is feedback for what's really going on. Like if you have something going on with your shoulders, that's a burden that needs to be released. If it's on the right side, then that's the masculine energy, that's the doing, and the left side is the feminine energy, which is the creativity and the intuition and the receiving. So all of this is feedback. But not only that, when somebody is talking to me, you can see well, you can't on the podcast, but if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see that I'm using my hands, everything, like I'm looking here, I'm looking there, I'm doing different things, and this is all feedback. So this is our subconscious talking. So when I am talking to one of my clients and they are telling me a story, I get more out of their body language than the actual words they're saying. But I do hang on every word, because their words are they're said in one way, but they really mean something else. So body language and the actual words, the actual meaning, the literal meaning of the words, and then the metaphorical, all of it, the energetic, all of it. So I learned because of this teacher telling me how to get intimate with my emotions. And I was like, what teacher, what are you talking about? I know my emotions, because that's what I felt like. I shouldn't know what you're talking about, because I felt like I know when I'm happy, I know when I'm sad, I know when I'm angry. Like I got this down. But there's hundreds and hundreds of emotions, and sometimes we don't even know what the feeling is. Like we don't know what this actually is. We don't know how to describe it, and it's in our physical body because it's giving us feedback that we're not in congruency. We are incongruent with who we are and our mission in life. And our body gives us feedback by like, oh, when you have like a tightness in your heart, that's feedback from your body. Incongruent, you're not in alignment with who you truly are. That thing in that pit in your stomach. Incongruent, that happiness, that lightness, that excitement. Now we're talking, now we're congruent, right? This is your body giving you feedback. And you never want to, what we do is we shove it down. Ooh, I don't like this feeling, the pit, the sadness, the tightness. I don't like it. So I'm going to put it somewhere where I can't see it. I'm going to put it behind the door in the laundry room so I can't see it anymore. So it doesn't exist in my world. But what I want to offer instead is that you call it up and you get intimate with it. Like my teacher told me, I'm going to give you the same advice. Get intimate with your emotions. What am I feeling? And then go into your body, because your body is telling you, like, where do I feel it in my body? What does it feel like in that part of my body? Does it have a sound? Does it have a movement? Does it have a color? Like, what's going on here? And then when you dive deep like that, you're going to find the answer, that there's an answer in it for you if you look into it. But if you put it behind the door, you'll never get your answer, which is divine wisdom from your body. Our body is nature. Nature always has the answers. Nature's always trying to balance itself out. So remember, our emotions are the language of our bodies. Our thoughts are the language of our brain. Think about this. When we're growing up and you don't know how to process, you're just who you are. You're just au naturel. You are just like at your finest because you don't have all these societal constructs on you yet. So you're just letting stuff out the way it should be. And when you're little, and I have 2 boys, so when you're a little boy and you get upset, you cry. And then what happens when you cry? Somebody, usually a male figure, will be like, stop crying. I'll give you something to cry about. That was, maybe they don't say that these days, but that's like back in the day. I'll give you something to cry about. Or, why are you crying? What's wrong? That's what follows, right? Like you're crying. What's wrong with you? What's wrong? And so instantly, without even realizing it, you're putting wrong with crying. That's the message that these boys are hearing. What's wrong? What's wrong with you? What's wrong? And crying. So it's like, oh, I don't want to be wrong. I don't want there to be something wrong with me. So I'm not going to let people see me cry. But what I did with my boys is I would say, oh, what's going on for you right now? Because then it doesn't make it wrong. It's curious. It's like, what's going on? What are you feeling right now? But I would say, what's going on for you right now? And then they would have to stop and check and go like, what is going on for me right now? I'm hungry. I'm tired. Right? I feel sad. I feel left out. I feel unheard. They won't say those words, but they will say something that will equal that in little kid language. That's how powerful our words are. What's wrong with you? What's wrong? Or what's going on? What's going on for you right now? What are you feeling in your body right now? Then it's okay to check in and be like, oh, it feels icky, right? That can be the start of a conversation with a small child. Ooh, it feels icky in my body. Oh, tell me more. And when I talk to my clients about this, I'd say, describe it to me like you're 5 years old. Because then they'll use words like icky. And it's like, it's purple and it jumps up and down like this. And it's scary. Like, that is so cool. That's how we get that into the feeling to find out what's really going on, what that feeling is all about, what caused it. And the reason I'm talking about this is because we as adults want to learn how to get intimate with our emotions. One of the main reasons that people have a weight issue or that people are overweight is because of emotional eating. We know, like when I work with my clients, I tell them exactly what to eat, when, how, all of it, like it's dialed in for that specific person. But if they can't stick to that, it's going to be for an emotional reason. We have the emotional eats. I feel, and here's what happens. I'm feeling something negative. I'm feeling unloved. I don't like the feeling. It's in my heart. It feels like my heart's being crushed, and I don't like that feeling. So what do? If I go eat this ice cream over here, I'm going to forget about that feeling while I'm eating the ice cream. Nom, 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 it's so good. So all I'm doing is distracting myself from the feeling. But guess what? When you're done eating the ice cream, the feeling is still there. The sign behind the door is still there. I haven't moved it yet. I haven't dealt with it. And now, on top of that, you feel gross because you ate all that ice cream. So that's just going to compound the feeling of not loving yourself, whatever the ickiness, the lack of self-love, the self-loathing, whatever it is, whatever you were feeling, you haven't processed it. So you just want to learn how to process that emotion because it's just a feeling. If you stop and pick, like, say the biggest feeling that you feel all the time, because say you're in a relationship and you have the same argument with your spouse, there's a feeling there. And it's the one that comes up the most often, that feeling. If you can name that feeling, sit with it, get really intimate with all the things about that feeling. So you're an expert on that feeling, frustration, right? I'm frustrated. Oh, I know when I'm frustrated because of this feeling in my body. And it's okay to be frustrated. I'm going to allow frustration to be there. I'm just going to be curious about it. I'm going to like just sit with frustration until it dies down. And even if it doesn't go away, I can still carry on feeling frustrated as long as I know that that's what that is. Okay, frustration, you can come with me for the rest of the day. I'm going to keep my eye on you though. You are not driving. Get in the back seat. And then the more work you do, it's like, okay, into the trunk with you. And then the more work you do, okay, you're not even coming with me this time. You're not invited. So that's how we progress. That's how we take responsibility for our emotions and process the feeling instead of eating or drinking. Or it's the same with any kind of, addiction. We're trying to escape something, a feeling, an emotion. And so we turn to this instead. Why? Because it makes us feel different. It makes us not feel this. But if we can learn how to feel this, we never have to eat or drink or smoke or buy or do anything to not feel the feeling, because it's just a feeling. The feeling won't kill us. The feeling will not kill us. But our brain is like, oh, I don't like this. We've got to get rid of this feeling as soon as humanly possible. So think about this. Here's a good way that you can really get a good understanding of feelings. I want you to think about someone you don't like. Your least favorite person. And just notice your body. Where do you feel that in your body? Just picture that person, the last interaction that was horrible with that person. Picture that and feel that in your body. Where do you feel it in your body? Describe it. Just in simple words. There's no right or wrong. Just describe it. Does it have a movement? Is it tight? Is it loose? Is it soft? Is it hard? Is it sharp? Does it have a color? What color is it? Is it like a dark, dark color? Is it really heavy? Does it smell like something? Does it have a sound? What does it feel like? And just feel it in your body. Ooh, right? Now, take a deep breath in and exhale it out. Just shake off that. And now, think about the person that you love the most in the world. The person that just lights up your life. You love them more than anything else. You love them more than life itself. They are your favorite person in the whole wide world. Where do you feel that in your body? What does that feel like? Describe it. Where is it? How does it move? Does it have a sound? Does it have a texture? Is it super soft and fluffy? How does that feel? So good, right? Now look at this. Nothing changed. Nothing changed. You went from feeling icky and horrible and bad to feeling amazing. To feeling like super fabulous and awesome and life is good. And nothing changed around you. The only thing that changed was your thoughts. That's it. What you were focusing on. That's it. So you could, if you're having a moment where you're feeling angry and bad, you could focus on that person you love and you could change your energy and your state. That's one way to do it. It's the fastest way to do it. It's a thought. Because remember, thoughts are just sentences we've created in our head, but our thoughts create our feelings. So if we don't like the feeling, we want to change our brain. We're in control of it. Nobody outside of ourselves can make us feel anything. They do something or say something, it's neutral. But what we think about it makes it good or bad. Our perception of it makes it good or bad. So we're in control. That's so powerful. We're in the driver's seat. If you can learn how to control your mind, you can control your emotions. And then you control everything. You're in charge. You can create whatever you want by using this philosophy. It'll help you to stop emotional eating. It'll help you to have better communication, which means better relationships. You'll be able to express yourself more gracefully, let it out. You don't have all that stuff behind the door. You've cleaned it out. It's totally clear back there now. Because remember, you forget about it, but it's still there. It adds up. You have better health because you are less stressed. You know how hard it is when you're thinking something, you're having feelings about somebody and it's like, and that's called stress. And it's making you unhealthy because it's negative energy and thoughts that are just compounding on top of themselves, never being dealt with. And you create your present moment with your thoughts and feelings. You are in control. So what magic are you going to create for yourself today? Thank you for listening. Always, always, always love yourself first and have an amazing day.